Have you ever woken up feeling exhausted, even after a full night's sleep? Maybe your legs feel weaker, climbing the stairs is harder, or you've noticed your energy fading faster than it used to. Most people brush these things off as just part of aging. But what if I told you these could be warning signs, signals from your body that something deeper is happening? The truth is, after 65, your body doesn't just age, it starts dying faster if you ignore certain signals. And here's the scary part. Most seniors don't even realize it's happening until it's too late. That's why today, we're uncovering 3 silent but deadly warning signs your body gives you before a rapid decline. Ignoring them can lead to frailty, loss of independence, or even a shorter lifespan. But the good news? If you recognize them early, you can slow down or even reverse some of these effects. Let's start with the first one. Have you noticed your muscles getting weaker? Maybe it's harder to lift things, stand up from a chair, or carry groceries. If that sounds familiar, you might be experiencing sarcopenia, a condition where your muscles start wasting away faster than they should. And here's what most people don't realize. Muscle loss isn't just about strength, it's about your survival. Think about this. Falls are the leading cause of injury-related deaths in seniors. And what's the #1 cause of falls? Weak muscles. When your legs lose their strength, simple things like stepping off a curb or catching your balance become dangerous. And once you fall, the recovery process is brutal. Some never fully regain their independence. But there's a way to fight back. Even in your 70s, 80s, and beyond, you can rebuild lost muscle. You don't need a gym or fancy equipment. Even simple movements like standing up from a chair without using your hands, leg raises, or light resistance exercises can restore strength. And here's something most seniors don't know. Your diet matters just as much as exercise. Many seniors aren't eating enough protein. Your body needs it to maintain and repair muscles. If you're not getting enough, your muscles shrink and weakness sets in faster. So start adding more lean meats, fish, eggs, beans, or even protein shakes into your meals. Small changes can make a massive difference. But here's the real question. Are you noticing yourself getting weaker? And if so, are you doing anything about it? Now, while muscle loss is a clear warning sign, there's another one that's even more dangerous. And the worst part? Most people ignore it until it's too late. Have you been feeling tired lately? Not just normal tiredness, but a deep, unshakable fatigue that doesn't go away even when you rest? That's not just getting older. It's your body screaming for help. Here's what most people don't realize. Chronic fatigue is often the first sign of an underlying problem. It could be your heart struggling to pump blood efficiently. It could be your metabolism slowing down. It could even be a sign that your body isn't getting the oxygen and nutrients it needs to function properly. And if you ignore it, things only get worse. One of the biggest hidden causes of fatigue in seniors is poor circulation. As you age, your blood vessels become less flexible, making it harder for oxygen to reach your muscles and organs. The result? You feel weak, sluggish, and drained, even if you're doing everything right. So, what can you do? The fix is simpler than you think. Movement is your best defense. You don't need to run marathons. Even a 10-minute daily walk can improve circulation and fight fatigue. And here's something most seniors don't realize. Your diet can either help or hurt your energy levels. Foods rich in antioxidants, like blueberries, spinach, and dark chocolate, can improve blood flow. And staying hydrated is crucial. Even mild dehydration can make fatigue worse. But here's the thing, if you've been feeling drained all the time, even after sleeping well, don't ignore it. It could be an early sign of heart issues. Many heart conditions start with subtle symptoms like fatigue before more serious problems appear. So if this sounds like you, it's time to pay attention. We've covered 2 of the biggest warning signs: muscle loss and chronic fatigue. But there's one more sign that's just as important. One that could affect not only your body but also your mind and overall well-being. And we're going to talk about that next. We've already covered 2 major warning signs, losing muscle and chronic fatigue, and how they could be early red flags for a rapid decline in health. But this next one? It's the most overlooked sign of all. And if you ignore it, it can steal not only your physical strength, but also your independence, your relationships, and even your sense of self. Have you noticed yourself forgetting things more often? Maybe you walk into a room and completely forget why you're there, or you can't remember the name of someone you've known for years. Or maybe you feel like your mind just isn't as sharp as it used to be. Most people brush this off as senior moments, a normal part of aging. But what if I told you that in many cases, it's not normal? That these little memory lapses could be a warning sign of something much bigger happening inside your brain. Here's the truth. After 65, your brain starts shrinking. The connections between your neurons weaken, and if you don't actively fight against it, cognitive decline speeds up. And the scariest part? Many people don't notice until it's too late. Mild forgetfulness can gradually turn into something more serious: difficulty making decisions, trouble focusing, or even the early stages of dementia. But here's the good news. Just like your body, your brain can be strengthened and protected. The key is knowing what to do now before memory problems get worse. So, what's the secret? It starts with how you use your brain every day. Think about this. If you stop moving your muscles, they get weaker. The same thing happens to your brain. If you don't challenge it regularly, it starts losing its ability to think quickly, remember details, and stay sharp. That's why one of the best ways to fight cognitive decline is to learn something new. And I don't mean reading the newspaper or watching television. I mean something that actually challenges your brain. Learning a new language, playing an instrument, or even simple things like brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand. These activities force your brain to form new neural connections, which can slow down aging and even help prevent memory loss. But here's something most people don't realize. Your diet is just as important as mental exercise. Have you heard of the MIND diet? It's designed to protect brain health, and studies show it can cut the risk of Alzheimer's by up to 53%. The key foods? Leafy greens, nuts, berries, whole grains, fish, and olive oil. On the flip side, processed foods, sugar, and trans fats can accelerate brain aging and increase memory loss. But here's a question for you. How often do you think about what your brain needs? We spend so much time focusing on the body, but the truth is, your brain controls everything. And if you let it weaken, everything else starts to fall apart too. And here's the biggest mistake people make. They think that once memory problems start, there's nothing they can do. That's not true. Science has proven that even in your 70s, 80s, and beyond, you can strengthen your brain and slow down decline. The key is taking action now while you still can. Now, we've covered 3 major warning signs: muscle loss, chronic fatigue, and memory problems. But here's the thing. These issues don't exist in isolation. If you notice one, chances are the others are already starting too. So what happens when you ignore them? What's the real cost of letting these warning signs go unchecked? That's exactly what we'll dive into next. And trust me, you'll want to hear this. Now that we've covered muscle loss, chronic fatigue, and memory decline, you might be wondering, what happens if you ignore these warning signs? What's the real cost of letting them slip by? Here's the harsh truth. Most people don't realize they're in trouble until it's too late. They wake up one day, and suddenly, stairs feel impossible. Getting out of bed feels like a battle. Conversations become frustrating because they can't keep up. And worst of all, independence starts slipping away. And that's what scares people the most. Not just the idea of getting older, but the idea of losing control over their own life. Maybe you've seen it happen to someone you love. Maybe you've watched a once active friend or family member slowly fade away. Maybe you've promised yourself, that won't be me. But here's the thing. It doesn't happen overnight. It starts with small changes, weakening muscles, constant exhaustion, forgetfulness. And before you know it, you're avoiding outings, skipping activities, and moving less and less. The good news? It doesn't have to be that way. Science has proven that aging doesn't have to mean decline. In fact, some of the healthiest, most active people are in their 70s, 80s, even 90s. The difference? They take action before it's too late. So, what can you do right now to slow down this process? First, move every single day, even if you're tired, even if your joints ache, even if you don't feel like it, because the moment you stop moving, your body starts shutting down. And you don't need to run marathons or lift heavy weights. Even simple activities like walking, stretching, or light resistance exercises can keep your muscles strong and your energy levels up. Second, fuel your body and brain with the right foods. If you're still eating like you did in your 40s and 50s, it's time for a change. Cut down on processed foods, refined sugars, and unhealthy fats. Instead, focus on brain-boosting foods like salmon, nuts, berries, and dark leafy greens. And third, stay mentally engaged. Don't just sit back and let your brain slow down. Challenge it every day. Read books, learn new skills, engage in conversations, and step out of your comfort zone. Your brain is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it stays. But the most important thing? Don't wait until you feel old to start. Too many people put off making changes because they think, "I'll start later." But later turns into next year, and next year turns into never. So, let me ask you, what small change will you make today? Will you take that short walk, try a new healthy recipe, challenge yourself to read more, learn more, or move more? Whatever it is, start now, because the choices you make today will determine how you live, not just next year, but for the rest of your life. If you found this video helpful, let me know in the comments, which of these warning signs have you noticed in yourself or a loved one? And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you never miss valuable insights like this. Here's to a stronger, healthier, and longer life. Because remember, aging is inevitable, but decline is a choice.